Have you ever yearned to be someone utterly unshakable? Someone impervious to criticism, immune to rejection, untouched by loss, or unmoved by betrayal? Have you ever envisioned a day when the silent, gnawing pain within you, that anguish which consumes you even as you present a facade of composure, finally ceases? Perhaps you are weary of the relentless effort to please everyone, of perpetually maintaining an image that demands constant strength, when in truth, all you desire is a moment of respite from the ceaseless pressure of appearing invulnerable.
Yet, allow me to impart a truth that perhaps no one has possessed the courage to articulate. As long as you endeavor to evade pain, it will continue to exert control over you. As long as you strive to numb yourself, to shield yourself, to conceal your true vulnerability, you will remain a hostage to the vicissitudes of the external world, to the words that wound, to the actions that disappoint, to the silences that erode your spirit. This is not a testament to weakness. This is the stark reality for the vast majority of humanity. The only distinction lies in the proficiency with which some feign indifference.
The internal battlefield, where true pain resides. Carl Jung, one of the most profound figures in depth psychology, asserted that we are not merely what transpires to us, but rather what we elect to become. And within that profound declaration lies the very essence of liberation. It is not about constructing an impenetrable fortress around yourself. It is not about cultivating a demeanor of coldness, indifference, or untouchability. On the contrary, it is about integration. It is about illuminating every aspect of yourself that currently afflicts you from the shadows. For authentic strength is not the absence of suffering, but the profound, unvarnished awareness of your complete being, even in moments of profound anguish. If you have journeyed with me thus far, it is not by mere happenstance. This discourse is for you. For those who are exhausted by the self-inflicted wounds derived from external events and individuals. It is for those who perpetually feel themselves at an emotional disadvantage, as if others wield an inexplicable power over them. I intend to reveal that this need not be your perpetual state. However, to achieve this, you must be prepared to confront certain truths that may initially cause discomfort. Yet paradoxically, it is through this very confrontation that genuine freedom is attained.
3. The unconscious architect of suffering. You may harbor the conviction that your suffering originates externally, from the actions of others, from ill-chosen words, from the abandonments you have endured, from the betrayals you never anticipated. Yet the truth, unvarnished and often brutal, is this. None of these external phenomena possess the inherent capacity to inflict pain upon you, unless an unhealed wound already resides within your being. What truly wounds you is not what others do to you. It is what these experiences activate within you. It is the narrative you construct around these events. It is the ancient trauma that has remained unaddressed. It is the void you meticulously conceal beneath a veneer of strength, of pride, of that desperate compulsion to appear perfectly adjusted. Jung meticulously demonstrated that the pain we experience in response to the external world is merely a reflection of that which remains unintegrated within our internal landscape. This is precisely why some individuals can navigate through profoundly devastating circumstances and yet maintain an unwavering clarity, while others crumble in the face of a seemingly innocuous comment. The crux lies not in what occurs, but in where it resonates within you. And here, we encounter an uncomfortable truth. You continue to suffer profoundly because, at some fundamental level, you cling to the illusion that you can dictate how the world ought to treat you. You persist in striving to be sufficiently good, intelligent, strong, or understanding, as if such perfection could ever guarantee immunity from harm. But control, in this context, is an illusion. And as long as you cling to this illusion, you will exist in a state of perpetual tension, ceaselessly attempting to predict the unpredictable, striving to avert the inevitable.
4th, Embracing vulnerability. The path to true invulnerability. Do you genuinely desire to cease suffering? Then cease your attempts to shield yourself from suffering. What you require is not greater control, but profound awareness. As long as you maintain the belief that others must alter their behavior for your pain to subside, you will remain enslaved by their actions. Your liberation commences the precise moment you comprehend that every external influence possesses power only if it finds an echo within your internal world. And this, precisely, is the true battlefield, the unconscious, that which you fail to perceive, fail to comprehend, and fail to master, will inevitably master you. This is the profound truth we shall now explore in greater depth. Prepare to descend one level further, for it is there that authentic transformation truly begins. Consider the pervasive deception, the assertion that you are in absolute control of your life. Awaken, for this is a fallacy, at least as long as you persist in living on autopilot, reacting without comprehension, experiencing emotions without discerning their origin, making decisions that you subsequently sabotage. Carl Jung articulated this with crystalline clarity when he declared, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And this, precisely, is the dynamic unfolding within you at this very moment. The pain you experience, the anger that erupts without provocation, the sadness that engulfs you without apparent cause. None of this is random. These are profound messages emanating from forgotten, ignored, or repressed aspects of your being.
V. The shadow and the path of integration. Jung referred to this concealed domain as the unconscious. It is not merely a nebulous collection of vague thoughts. It is an active, potent force, an intricate system of memories, traumas, desires, and fears that you instinctively recoil from confronting, yet which relentlessly dictate your emotional responses and your actions. You may ponder why certain words inflict such profound wounds upon you, while others remain unaffected. It is because those words resonate with sensitive points within your psyche that remain unhealed. And if they remain unhealed, it is because you have never truly confronted them. You have merely relegated them beneath the psychological rug, and now you perpetually stumble over them. Jung famously stated, "We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses." And what has been your practice? Judging yourself, repressing your authentic impulses, silencing your inner voice, as if such actions could ever resolve anything. The undeniable truth is that the unconscious does not dissipate simply because you choose to ignore it. It merely discovers more insidious and perilous avenues for manifestation. In the toxic relationships you repeatedly enter, in the patterns of self-sabotage you find yourself unable to break, in the anxieties and fears that inexplicably surface even when all appears to be well. This is not a matter of ill fortune. It is your unconscious striving desperately to awaken you. Yet you persist in slumber. Do you aspire to become someone who is no longer wounded? Then cease your flight from your inner landscape. For as long as you remain ignorant of your unconscious, you will remain a mere puppet of your emotions. And the more fervently you endeavor to shield yourself from external pain, the more susceptible you become to internal suffering.
Sixth, the unshaken self, beyond armor, towards acceptance. However, there exists a profound path to liberation, and it does not lie in constructing defenses, it lies in integration. For becoming truly unshakable is not an act of resistance, it is an act of profound self-knowledge. Most individuals mistakenly believe that the sole means to avoid being hurt is to erect formidable barriers. They construct walls, don masks, develop emotional armor, and feign imperviousness to all external influences. They proclaim, "I no longer care. Nothing affects me." Yet, beneath this hardened exterior, they continue to bleed. They continue to corrode from within. For the fundamental issue was never the act of feeling. The issue lies in the ignorance of what one is feeling, and why. And this ignorance afflicts only those who have yet to truly know themselves. Jung articulated this with precision. Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but when touching a human soul, be just another human soul. And that very human soul, which you insist on concealing behind a facade of strength, invulnerability, and control, is desperately yearning to be seen. Becoming emotionally resilient has no correlation with coldness. It has no connection to ignoring pain, evading conflict, or feigning indifference. On the contrary, it is inextricably linked to integration, to acceptance, to illuminating every buried aspect of yourself that you have relegated to the shadows. You do not become truly unshakable by constructing a barrier between yourself and the world. You become unshakable when you realize that no external force can wound that which has already been embraced within you. When you integrate your shadows, your fears, your flaws, your insecurities, you cease to react impulsively to every external stimulus. You choose. You are no longer an emotional puppet, and that precisely is true freedom.
Seventh, individuation, the journey to wholeness and liberation. Jung termed this profound process individuation, the journey of becoming the authentic individual you are truly meant to be. It is not about conforming to the expectations of others, nor is it about embodying a preconceived notion of who you ought to be to gain acceptance. Rather, it is about allowing that which emerges organically from within. It is the arduous, yet ultimately liberating path of integrating all aspects of your being, the light and the shadow, the conscious and the unconscious, into a cohesive, authentic self. This is the ultimate act of self-possession. When you have truly integrated these parts, external events lose their power to destabilize you. They become mere information, not existential threats. You understand that the pain is not in the event itself, but in your unintegrated reaction to it. By making the unconscious conscious, by embracing your entire being, you dismantle the very mechanisms through which external forces could once wound you. You become whole, you become free, and in that wholeness, nothing and nobody can ever truly hurt you again. 8. Conclusion and call to action. This journey, the path to true invulnerability, is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage, introspection, and an unwavering commitment to self-truth. But the reward is unparalleled, a life lived with profound inner peace, authentic power, and an unshakable sense of self. If this exploration has resonated with the deepest parts of your being, if you are ready to embark on this transformative journey of integration and liberation, then I invite you to join our community. Continue this profound exploration with us. Share your insights, your struggles, and your triumphs in the comments below. What aspect of your unconscious are you ready to confront this week? Your journey towards true freedom begins now.